have I ever for you, the questionnaires, boys.
Oh, no.
boy.
No. Damien, please,
Marcus.
no Jamaican questions, please.
Marcus, he better not ask us about Jamaica. I'm just thinking. That one time in Jamaica.
I just
Please,
feel like
Damien.
we have being royalty, we have such a clear-cut image. So I want the listeners to hear the bad side of us. So this is actually Never Have I Ever for bad boys.
Ooh.
Okay.
Never have I ever for bad boys.
All right, so it's time to
It's been a while since we had a
pull the
song.
curtain back on the dark side of the questionnaires. So I'm going to hit you guys with some Never Have I Evers at, just see how dark and twisted you guys really are. Feel free to explain if you feel the need to. All right.
Okay.
Never have I ever gotten in trouble with the police.
I have never. No, I can't say I personally have, but I've been in a situation where I was there with a group of friends. I left, and then 2 minutes later, my friend got done by the popo. So no,
That's a
I
never.
haven't.
Okay.
Damien.
Does jaywalking count?
I like this story, so yes, it
Well,
does count.
I was thinking, does it count if I've been gotten a speeding ticket, or I made an illegal right turn once? Does that count? Maybe
Sure,
I
I
have.
mean that counts.
Well, I'm a bad boy.
Oh,
Bad.
Mine was it's like $100 fine for jaywalking, and my friend with me, she was smart. She said she didn't have a wallet on her and gave a fake name, fake address, and everything, and never got the fine.
Oh, that seems like a bigger
So she
crime
taught me
potential.
how to. Yeah, she was the real bad boy. But after getting fined for jaywalking, maybe that should be my prison nickname, like Jay Walker. Like that could be my.
What's he in
Why did he
for?
jaywalking?
He didn't look both ways.
You just see me walking around the prison, just walking into people and stuff. Like he's so reckless.
Crossing traffic, ruthless.
Yeah. All right, next one. Never have I ever forged my parents' signature.
I would say I've probably done that in high school. We used to get these things called diary notes where the teacher would write a note in your diary and basically be like, you have to show your parents this and they have to sign it so that they know, so I know that they've read it. And it's like, okay, cool, no worries. Scribble, here it is. They don't know what your parents' signature looks like.
Do you know what's funny? I did a similar thing to you, but it was one of our good friends, Marcus, Anthony. He was very good at like drawing and all that type of thing. So I used to get him to forge my parents' signatures to the point that even when we had excursions, I wouldn't even give it to my parents. I'd just be like, hey, Anth, can you sign this for me?
Can I go? Is it okay if we go? I want to get rock climbing.
I like
Anth.
it. He's just like, no, you're not allowed to go on this one. It's too dangerous. Too dangerous on this one.
And I never went to that excursion to Jamaica.
That's it. Well,
thing.
lucky for you. Lucky for you. Yeah, I've done it. I mean, same excuse applies. Got in trouble at school. I didn't want to show my parents, and yeah.
All right, next one. Never have I ever cried during a movie. And if you have, what movie?
I'll buy it. Yeah, 100% I have. The first movie I did was probably like Lion King when I was 5, but like more as an adult, Wreck-It Ralph. The first one.
Interesting.
That was I was by myself and I felt a single tear drop down at a specific moment. I won't spoil it, but yeah, Wreck-It Ralph is a sad movie. It touched at home because it was a video game movie as well. So I was just like, I like video games, so I really got invested in this movie. But yeah, that was it.
I'm not judging, Marcus. Bad boys need to have a sensitive side as well. That's why I put this question in.
That's it.
I think I might have mentioned before that like a movie that made me tear up, I can't remember if I cried, but it made me very emotional, was this movie called Ladder 49 with John Travolta and Joaquin Phoenix.
Oh yeah, I know the one. I thought you were going to say Ready to Launch, but all right.
Yeah, Failure to Launch. Yeah, Matthew McConaughey
Ready
did it
to
to me.
Launch, that's it. Yeah.
What about it made you cry? Can I guess?
Go.
So John Travolta is the grizzled veteran firefighter and Joaquin Phoenix is the young firefighter taken under his wing, and then Travolta sacrifices himself so Phoenix can survive.
No, it's not that. I like I said, I don't really remember what part it was, but I'm pretty sure that, the death of John Travolta would never make me cry. But that can never be a sad thing. It can only be a good. But I feel like there was just something in it. Like maybe I was just caught in the moment. There was a lot of camaraderie going on, and I was like, "Damn, these boys really live for each other." But as more closer to home, I watched the movie Jersey Girl, which there was a scene in that just a tiny little scene in that where, again, it's Ben Affleck, so no one would cry over Ben Affleck, but
I disagree. I think Ben Affleck's got some moments.
his daughter is doing like a play and he was expected to be on stage doing the part and he wasn't there, so his father was doing the part, and then she's performing on stage, she turns around, Ben Affleck made it, and the look that she gives Ben Affleck when she sees that her dad's there, oh boys, I can't turn the cameras off.
Tom just covered his camera.
Tom's actually tearing up right now. That's it.
Well, that's a perfect segue into mine, because speaking of Ben Affleck, I remember the first film I cried to, and it was Armageddon.
Oh, yeah. Do
you remember-
Bruce Willis left on the rock?
Yes. Spoilers for people who may not know, but Bruce Willis sacrifices himself so Ben Affleck, he sacrifices himself so he can save the planet, essentially. Don't they blow up a meteor or something like that?
Meteor's coming for Earth, and they got like they can't take everyone back with them for some reason. So Bruce Willis has got to sacrifice himself and say, "I'm going to detonate this rock."
Yeah, and the whole thing is like Ben Affleck's supposed to do it because he drew the shortest straw, but then Bruce Willis sacrificed himself. And I remember being young and being like, "What is this salty discharge coming out of my face? Like, what am I feeling right now?"
Movies aren't meant to be like this.
Ben Affleck can do it to
exactly.
It wasn't Ben Affleck like banging his daughter in that movie, so it's just like I don't know if I would give up like my spot on the stage rocket for the guy banging my daughter.
Marcus's approach to this is, you bang my daughter, you go out with a bang. That's how we're going to play this.
I'm sorry, honey. I mean, he drew the short straw. What do you expect?
I'm not letting you go back to Earth. You're just going to fuck my daughter, aren't you?
I can't die knowing that that's all you're going to be doing.
That's the last thing
Ben,
he's
you
thinking.
are Armageddon on my nerves, and now it's time for you to die.
Yeah.
That's the ultimate, like, meet the parents. What was it like? He left me on an asteroid. Didn't go well.
All right, you know what? I have more questions, but I might just leave it there. I think that was that was a fun note
good.
to end on.
And look, a very Bad Boys-esque movie.
Yes, and I hope our audience isn't turned off seeing this darker side of you guys. But, you know, the world isn't all glitters and rainbows and ponies. Sometimes.
Sunshines and lollipops, yeah.
That's right. And so that was Never Have I Ever, Bad Boys edition.
Never have I ever for Bad Boys.
Shredding.
I love that pinch. That what's that called? Pinch. What do they call? I can't even
A
fucking
whammy
remember
bar?
Pinch
now.
harmonic.
Pinch harmonic.
pinch
That's
harmonic,
it.
yeah,
And
yeah,
there is
yeah.
there is a whammy bar there, Tom. Good ear.
Okay. Let's answer the question quickly. Were they in the wrong for throwing it back at them? I don't think they were.
I think they both threw stones at each other. They both have part to blame. Grow up and just act like adults.
I like that. I mean, he threw the bigger rock, but you're both throwing rocks there. So maybe just say, look, I'm sorry I brought that up, but it was going to come out eventually if you want this relationship to last. So you're going to have to deal with it at some point.
All right. I think that's fair. Let's leave that there for the disciple. I'm going to go next with this one. I think I'm going to go with, when I'm thinking about my prison name, I want to work in something a little bit wholesome, but a little bit sort of prisony, with a prison twist. You know what I mean? So I'm thinking who's America's dad? It's Tom Hanks. Who's America's the prison version of Tom Hanks? It's Tom Shanks. So that's going to be my prison name.
Tom Shanks. I love it.
So I think like
I love that.
yeah, like you might want
like-
to hug from me, but at the same time, don't want to get too close because I might in the back.
Exactly. He's just like, why do they call him Shanks? Does he shank people? No, he's just a real big fan of like lamb shanks.
It's true. It's true. All right. So Tom Shanks writes in, do you have to say hi? Okay. I'm at the mall or somewhere, anywhere, and I see an acquaintance, a colleague, or someone I know. I avoid them and hide or walk away as I do not want awkward or forced fake hellos and small talk. Is this okay? I'm a female over 35 and have always been socially awkward and introverted. I have a boring, quiet life and average personality and no one wants to chat with me anyway. Of course, if they see me and say hi, I'll say hi. I'm not rude, but I am introverted and need my space. Surely others have done this. Tom Shanks.
Ooh, Tommy Shanks.
This sounds more like a self-esteem problem as opposed to like I feel like they're being way too hard on themselves to completely write themselves off and be like, I'm not interesting. I'm not like I feel like a lot of the time you're your own worst critic. So of course you're going to shit on yourself whenever you think about things that you're doing, and they're kind of not allowing themselves to interact with other people to see how they respond to it. They're just assuming I'm boring as fuck. Nobody wants to talk to me and shutting up shop.
Why would they care?
I feel like she's he's not alone in this situation. Like, I often see people, like, when I go out or anything like that, if I see somebody that I don't really want to talk to, I do the old, I'm going to go down this aisle because I don't want to talk to this person or whatever it is. But then as I've gotten older, I've realized you don't need to talk to those people. You don't need to be rude either. You could just, like, a simple hi, like a wave or something like that, but keep walking if you can. Like if you're at the shops especially, oh no, I've got to run, sorry, hi, and keep running. That's not rude. You're still saying hello. You just, yeah.
I feel like this is, if it's in a supermarket, it's almost like you need to, if you see someone, you have to be prepared that you will end up having to say hi. Fair enough, not approach them, right? But, and you know, maybe you should just move on off to aisle 12 and then think about what you're going to say if you're dreading to see someone, because it's hard to escape someone in a supermarket. I don't know about you guys, but I'm never very like clear about like I work from one end to the other. I'm often going back and forth to aisles, and you can't have the expectation that, oh, I'm not going to see them. You could see them at any point. You don't know how long they're going to be for.
Tom, you are a supermarket explorer, but you are horrible at planning your voyage around the black hole that is that social interaction. So you're just like, I don't know where we're going to end up. You're just bouncing off islands and little islets and stuff.
That's pretty much me.
I agree with you though. I have that pinball approach when I'm in a supermarket as well. But are you? I don't know. I think out of all of us, I would probably put my money on you, Tom, to be the most extroverted and like being able to keep a conversation with somebody. Am I wrong in thinking that?
I think you'd be wrong in thinking that. I think the situation is I would probably fare okay for the most part in a situation where I've run into people and I say hi, but it's also one of those things that I'd rather not go through it. And I'm almost certain I've been in situations where like I've probably like ran into someone and be like, oh, hey, how you going? And it was just out of nowhere, and I'll be like talking to them, be like, oh yeah, what's going on? Anyway, I'll see you later. And like walk away and be like, fucking hate that guy or something like, oh, that was the worst. Like I'll actually be like upset that it happened, because I usually go out if I want to see people, I'm going out to see people. When I'm out not seeing people, I don't want to see people. So you might be right, but you might be also wrong.
I knowing both of you very well, I know Tom is not the kind of person that would actually want to go see. If he sees somebody, he will actively go to the opposite aisle if he does want to talk. I've been firsthand when it's like, oh, I don't want to see that person. Let's go around the other aisle or something like that.
Run.
So I know firsthand Tom doesn't want to do it, and I know, Damien, you definitely don't want to do it. But I know that for different reasons though. Tom's like, oh, I don't want to speak to that person. You're just more like, oh, I don't know what to say. Let's just go to the other aisle. Like it's different reasons, but same end result.
Marcus gets us. I've got a bad tale as well that it's developed later in life. Is I get anxiety sweats when I'm speaking to somebody.
Oh.
It's and doesn't even have to be that like I don't want to speak to them. I'm not good in those one-on-one social situations. So if somebody starts to see me sweat, I'm not having a good time. I'm panicking.
Here's the problem. People want to speak to me, but I don't want to speak to people. So I think I know that there's an imbalance there. People are really eager to say hi to me, but I'm just really eager to not do that.
You're the interesting one, Tom, not the other people. That's it. That's what it is. I was going to say, Damien, if you're sweating, if someone sees you sweating, they're talking to you, just like, he really doesn't want to be here. I'm going to hightail out of here. He does not want to talk to me. I'm offended.
I guess the one silver lining of all this social distancing is that there is now distance socializing. So people aren't going to be standing next to each other on trains and, you know, in public areas. Everybody's going to be 1.5 meters apart.
Mm-hmm.
The train is a good example of one to be like, if you're taking the train every day and you see someone you went to school with that you knew but don't know super well, and if you were to be stuck on the train with them for maybe half an hour where you just have to be one-on-one, that, like, to me, that's sort of like the worst situation, because you're in a confined space. You can't leave. You're both on a way to work. You can't just jump off and be like, well, this is my stop outside of the CBD and then wait for the next train.
I have a story that pertains exactly to that. It happened to me a couple years ago.
Yeah.
Let me know your thoughts on what I did. I'm very curious to hear both your thoughts. Okay. So I ran into a guy that I knew, hadn't seen him for years, on a platform. Turns out we're both waiting for the same train, and it's at least a 30-minute train ride. And like you were saying, Tom, I didn't want to be locked in for a 30-minute conversation of small talk, and I don't have the cojones to say, nice seeing you, man, I'm going to go read my book now or go into another carriage, right? I don't operate that way.
Sure.
So instead, I looked behind me to the opposing platform and saw that there was a train heading It was eventually, it wasn't heading my way, but it was going to go to a platform that my train was going to get to at some point. So halfway through the conversation, I was like, oh man, I just realized I'm having dinner at my auntie's tonight. I'm meant to be on the other train. Catch you later. Good seeing you. And I ran to the other train, jumped in, and I just caught it to, I think I caught it like 3 stations down, and then I jumped off and waited for a train to take me back the way I was supposed to go.
I love this story because it's the quintessential Damien story. It's I don't want to talk to this person. I will happily go in the opposite direction, three stations along, just so I don't need to talk to this person for 20 minutes. I love it. It's perfect, Damien.
Why am I really hoping that what happened was you then got 3 stations back to where he was waiting for, and at the door